I don't know why the hell I'm nervous. All right. All right. We're gonna wait for some of y'all to get up in here.
Yes.
All right. Matter of fact, let's do it. Everybody, welcome back to All Viral Access Media. All right, I'm starting to see y'all come in. Please make sure y'all share too when y'all get in here. Please share this live. I appreciate y'all. Please make sure you share this live. Y'all bring your asses in here. All right. So we have a great super panel that's happening right now. Some of the people that was there at these at the reparations meeting in New York City and Brooklyn this past last week or so, but they have been going to multiple reparations meetings, so this is not something new to them. And I reached out and they was happy. I don't want to say happy, but they was with it to do the interview and spread the word or whatever. Cheryl Bryant, please make sure you share. You already know, love. We have Brooke from Brooklyn. I like that. We have brother Devon from the U.S. Freedman Project, and we got my boy Melrose from Mike from Melrose Radio. Salute to him. And we got my girl right there, Keisha, with the same last name as my great grandfather, but we not related. We not talked about that. And salute to her for them being on the front line. So I just want to say thank you, y'all, and I appreciate y'all for joining the panel. I appreciate y'all. How y'all doing?
Hello, hi.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Right.
Thank you for having us.
No doubt. Thank y'all for coming. All right. So first off, this is how I want to set it off real quick. God, I gotta stop cursing. That's my problem now. All right. So I'm gonna be real professional. Now, I wanna ask this question right after this one right here, real quick.
City of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant. So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
Now, what is y'all thoughts on him winning this election for mayor? Is New York finished? That's what I want to know. Whoever want to take the mic first. Or we can go to Brother Devon. What's your thoughts on
I was just gonna say let Sister Brooke go first, and she did the, you know what I'm saying, the marathon space on him. She did the expose.
Let's go, baby girl.
Okay. Well, I think that no, New York is never finished because we here. So it can never be finished. As long as you have foundational Black American blood on this soil, it's never finished. It ain't over, as Professor Carper says, it ain't over till we win. So that's number one. Number two, I've said this last night, but what they don't understand is they just turned up the heat. A lot of immigrants, the legal immigrants have just now turned up the fire from President Trump. And so they don't realize that the mayor can only do but so much. And look at Brandon Johnson in Chicago. You understand what I'm saying? Look at DC. What's her name in DC? All that they're going to do is they're bringing the spotlight and making it hotter, because before they was only asking for ICE to come to Rikers, to come to the jails. You understand what I'm saying? But now y'all going to have ICE running through the streets even more. So this is now, it is going to be tumultuous. because he's going to siphon every red dime he can to fund illegals and everything else. And that is going to be a problem for the city. But he's not the first mayor, and he won't be the last. And we got this.
Okay. Anybody else want to answer that, or y'all good? So my question,
I don't want nobody to worry. Like Brooke said, the heat is now turned up on immigrants, legal and illegal. Because if you think Donald Trump is playing games, ask Chicago, right? Ask DC if they playing games. They're not. America is in serious trouble. And if only, we had listened to what Congresswoman Barbara Jordan said in 1994, that we must control immigration, that if we allow these influx, that it will be a problem for the citizens of this country. Also, as the mayor of a metropolis like New York or any city, their job is to manage the municipalities of the city. So all of the things that he say he can do, he's lying. He doesn't have the legal authority to do that. Everything that he wants to do, it has to go through the city council. The city council has more power than the mayor. The city council can fire the mayor. The city council can fire the police commissioner. The mayor can't do the opposite. He or she does not have the power. Their job is to manage the municipalities. But we'll see what's happening because the governor already said that she is not going to allow these things to take place and that he shouldn't say these things. But again, they want to save face for the party. The party is dying. It's been dying for the last 15 years. And so they're pulling rabbits out of the hat and see, what trick will work for people. But New York City, is an immigrant city. And they fell for it hook, line, and sinker. But watch out and good luck.
Right. And because Kathy Hochul, she has the power to not fund what he wants, because it's like he's talking about free rent, food, what's that, the train rides, all the extra shit that he wants, but it's like where he's gonna get the money from. So you understand what I'm saying? Like where he's gonna be out of our tax dollars. All the stuff that he's saying he's gonna promise, it's bullshit, because it's not going to happen, and he don't have the power for that to happen. I think he just swindled the people just to get in office.
He will say anything. He will do anything. He will be anybody. He will put on anybody. He will pretend to be whatever he needs to be to win. And that's what he did. And that's the sad part that people don't recognize. You know what I'm saying? Like there, you don't know who this man is. You don't know what's on his heart. You don't know what he really believes in. He's all over the goddamn place. You don't know what he really truly wants or believes in, because he'll say anything. And you know what? It ain't too much different from Eric Adams, because isn't that what Eric Adams was? Every time he got in front of a different crowd, we are the Turkey of New York. We are the Palestine of New York. We are the Trinidad of New York. Of the United States. We are the you know what I'm saying, of the United States. We are that. Every time he got in front of somebody, so Mondani just like picked little pieces from people and saw what worked, and he just throwing it at the wall, and it stuck.
Right.
And you know what?
I was about to come to you, brother. Go right ahead. And everybody in the chat, please let me know if y'all can hear Mike. And do me a favor, please share. I appreciate y'all. Go ahead, Mike.
Can y'all hear me loud and clear? Can y'all hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
they saying they can hear you.
Mondani, he's just a different shade of white supremacy him and AOC, they've been running around talking about immigrants built New York, immigrants built America. That's totally untrue, and it's anti-FBA, it's anti-Black, it's racist. Foundational Black Americans built New York. Foundational Black Americans built America. Everybody else came afterwards and got a job. Immigrants couldn't build their countries, so how did they build America? They tend to use New York City and Chicago. They'll point out all of these, white immigrants or whatever, building these skyscrapers at the beginning of the 20th century, but the foundation and the wealth was already built. It was already laid down. These people that built these skyscrapers, they came and got jobs that they were compensated for. So it's not the same. And Mondami, he's not for us. And there's nothing we can look forward to coming from, his administration.
And Black people been in New York since 1797, around that time too. In 1827, and we already know that, the reason why Wall Street was even built. But
ODB said his ancestors was, part of the original natives that were here in New York.
Who said that? Mabdani?
No, ODB, Old
Oh yeah,
Bastard.
Yep. In Long Island, he said absolutely. Yep. So, all right, now, far as the he was like an actor, a rhymer, a rapper or whatever, and he's a jihadist from what's the consensus is saying. So, all the Muslims that's praying on 42nd Street, taking up the whole fucking street, right? So by him just being the Muslim, the first Muslim mayor of New York, what do y'all think is going to happen far as Muslims? Because we definitely have to keep our eyes on them. So because they got Michigan, they got acres of land, and I got videos that I'm gonna pull up after this that they want to go to different countries, conquer them, and force Islam on people, and make sure they uphold the Sharia law, so for so on. So I feel like it's deeper than that, and I think it's being orchestrated by a higher power, a more superior power who is allowing these things to happen. And I land by saying this: we know that Donald Trump or every president is like the manager to a restaurant, to a fast food chain, a McDonald's. He's just the supervisor. He's not the franchise owner. So who's the puppet masters? And I'm pretty sure we all know who it is. But once you start talking about certain people, even though we put them in one category or bucket of white supremacy, it makes you wonder, like, who is allowing this shit to happen? It can't just be the people as well. I don't know. That's just where my mind is at. So if anybody want to piggyback on that, please let me know y'all thoughts on that. Okay. Well, I guess not. Let me just play a goddamn video.
Hold on a second, Mike.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to kind of go back a little bit because I didn't share any thoughts on the speech. We at the U.S. Freedman Project, we actually wrote a letter to the Mamdani campaign when he was on the trail. Because at the end of the day,
private chat.
Whether can you put it on the comments too, Breuck, or is that going to go there or no?
I'm blocked from putting links in the chat. But,
okay.
Mike, just take a look in the private chat. I put the link to this letter that he's referring to in there. You can show that as well.
I got it right now.
Yeah, so we wrote, like I said, because since we're an advocacy organization, regardless of how we feel personally, we can't be any respecter of persons, right? So we reached out to every campaign to say, look, this is, if you need our support, here's what we need in return from you. Obviously, neither campaign reached out or presented anything specifically for Foundational Black Americans, which is why they didn't receive overwhelming support. You know what I'm saying? He eventually, obviously he did win. That's the outcome of the election. But what you just put in the chat is an open letter that we had sent to Mamdani's campaign. But we are also putting it publicly out there right now online to let the family know that even though no other organization that claims to be for us or doesn't claim to be for us will push back, the U.S. Freedom Project will. And so we are letting them know that this narrative, this immigration revisionist history is not going to fly. Like, we're going to let you know who built New York, who was here before all of y'all came here. And that's us. That's our blood, our sweat, our tears that built this city. And so this idea that you get to come in and, you know, we're all familiar with whitewashing, but now we're getting an entirely new version of immigrant washing and tether washing. And we have to be very careful and equally vigilant against that, because they are learning from their oppressors. And in the same way, hurt people, and colonize people, oppress people, attempt to oppress people. And what they don't understand, that they will, because we could show them better than we could tell them, is that we don't take too kindly to being oppressed.
Right.
And so you can awaken this sleeping giant if you want.
Yeah.
But you're going to quickly find out your arms are too short to box with the guards. And ain't nobody on this planet did it like we did when we talking about oppression. And so we're pushing back, letting him know we're going to have to change that in the same way. Other communities, let them know, hey, this is disrespectful. That needs to be retracted. That needs to be addressed. This is the same type of pressure we're going to be attempting to put on this new mayor. And like Sister Breuck said, as long as we here, it can never be over.
That's a fact.
Because it don't take that many. You know what I'm saying? Sister Breuck also talks about, you know, the New York 300, right?
Right.
Right now we at the hot gates, and everything got to funnel through us. So as long as we hold the line, it ain't but so much territory they could take. So I land on that.
Anybody want to piggyback on that, Mike or anybody? All right.
No, I'm good.
Okay. I wanted to show this because since I put it up there, and I know I'm going back to what I said before, but I just want to show some of the people this real quick. So it's going to be a couple of videos, short videos that I'm just going to put up real quick. All right, I played that one. This shit right here.
I'll finish you like Fudo Sawani. Onatera kuchukange ngoko, natera kukuba chiogo, jagarangu kubengato. Hey, Sisoko, Sisoko. Oriwa, let's get together. Oriwa, let's get together. Oriwa, let's get together.
That one right there. So that's supposed to be Mom Dani right there, but this is his intern. Her name is Hadikwa Arzo Malik. This was I guess her former intern, but this is her.
And the true believer knows that none of this is in vain, that this is all jihad, that this is all.
I'm sorry, she can smell me, all of us from here. She got a big ass nose, but let's continue. I'm sorry, y'all.
The true believer knows that none of this is in vain, that this is all jihad, that this is all ibadah, and that this is all counted for by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the conversation of doxing, the conversation of getting arrested and suspended, I think it's time for Muslims to start to say, all right, so what? Do what you want. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, because it's about time to do that. And I know everybody has their own families and has an education and everything. It's just a question. We don't want to get doxed, and we don't want to get suspended, and we don't want to get arrested. How gangsta are you? That's just my question. How much are you willing to do it? And I know everyone has their own risk levels, but at the end of the day, that's a question to ask ourselves. How committed am I to this? To what extent of my personal material gains am I willing to sacrifice for this bigger noble cause? And subhanAllah, I truly believe that when your heart is in the right place, if you get suspended, if you get doxxed, because it's bound to happen.
Shut up. I got two more videos. It's very short. This is Zaran.
Thank you. Are prisons obsolete?
Whew, coming through with the quotes, coming through with the titles of the books. I have to read that, actually. I haven't read that as yet. But I think that, frankly, I mean, what purpose do they serve? Right? I think we have to ask ourselves that, which is that, you know, I think a lot of people who defend the carceral state, they defend the idea of it and the way it makes them feel.
And there's a couple more, but I'll make this my last one so we can really get into the reparations. I just wanted to get this Muslim shit out the way, but I really feel like that's something that we have to really pay attention to, because at the end of the day, they here. America has hurt, bombed, pillaged so many people land. I know I'm speaking to the choir, but they also let their children's children on their homeland, so they have their enemies, offsprings living on their soil. So the half of their army, the majority of their army is already here. And China wasn't set it all right now. The army's already here. Me and my boys used to say, if we see every Chinese restaurant close, get ready. And so now we have a lot of them in Minnesota, a whole bunch. They all in New York City. So I know I'm all for reparations, and I'm gonna stand on that wholeheartedly, because it's old. It's a debt that's old. But I feel in the climate, in the midst, in the process thereof, or whatever, we might have to prepare, lock and load, and get ready. Because what if they push the button and the government already knows? Because you already know the government knows a lot of things before it happened. We got to keep our eye on them niggas too, because we know how they get down, the ticky boom niggas. So I just wanted to make sure I infuse that into it, because it's other agendas as well in the midst of our most important agenda. But it's getting crazy. And I'll play this last one, and I have a couple, but I'll play this last one, and we could get right into Kathy Hochul. What's her name? Camilla Moore, just briefly. Bill Essayli, whatever the fuck. It just getting into the whole reparations thing. All right. And I appreciate everybody.
One day you're gonna be the president of the United States.
Sorry.
One day you're gonna be the president of the United States of America. No one, koi Michael Ali, who can stop you from becoming a president. Dream big, have a vision. Because if Barack Hussein Obama can be a president, Sohaib Jawad cannot be a president. Tell me. He's going to be a president. He's talking about that the Muslims will take over Mecca. They used to laugh at him. What happened? What is Mecca now? Where is Mecca? It's coming. Change is coming to America. And what is Allah telling us? Kuntum khayra ummatin. You are the best of nations. You're better than everybody else. That's what Allah is saying. Let's work towards that. Let's work towards a Muslim mayor. Next election that comes in, nominate people for the school board of education. Next election that comes here, nominate people for the local township. Begin the demographics change. People converted. There's a big, huge conversion going on in this country. Where are the converts? They just convert and they're gone in the wilderness. The other thing, children. Muslims have the highest population. Average, they did Pew Foundation did a research study, Pew Foundation, and they said that Muslim household average is 3.4 child per family. The white American.
Long story short, do y'all think we have a problem on our hands as far as these people? And plus, we have the first Muslim mayor that's in office right now in New York, and I feel like it's going to be more of an influx of immigrants that's going to come into New York, because his laws is going to be specifically molded and shaped for them. Do y'all have any thoughts on that? And then we can get right into the reparations.
I feel like the only issue we might have is one of them, like our brother Tariq Nasheed usually puts at the end of his videos, is one of them creating a must bomb and sneaking it into like an American city and just making the American city more musty. Other than that, them niggas, they ain't gonna hurt a fly. It's never like they gonna get their numbers up and then buck up against America. They're not gonna buck up against the white supremacists, let alone foundational Black Americans.
You gonna pop, nigga. I know I am. Fuck that.
Word. You got these white supremacists running around for the past 250 years talking about, oh, just wait now. Any minute this race war is gonna pop off. Oh, it's gonna be a civil war part 2. They ain't do it. The white supremacists ain't do it. These musty niggas ain't gonna do it. we don't got. I mean, yeah, we do have a lot to worry about, but we don't got to worry about nobody like harming us on some large scale type of domestic, battle or nothing like that.
Okay. And those are facts.
And I would like to add to that. I would like to add to that. It makes no sense to separate white supremacy or their buffers by religion. We could care less if you're Muslim, if you're Hindu. I don't give a goddamn what you pray to. I don't care who you get on your knees to at night. Okay.
That's right.
You are a tool of white supremacy, and we gonna mow you down just as quick as we mow down the white supremacists, and that's just it. And so he could sit here, and claim all this, but at the same time, they shuck and jive for white folks.
That's right.
Or YT people.
Right.
So they sit here and talk about all of this, Muslim this and Muslim that and Muslim this and Muslim that, and we also don't have to worry because the white folks see through them too.
Mm.
At least maybe not these little stupid rich yuppies here,
right.
But you know what I mean. But their parents don't like them.
Mm.
You see what happened in that town? They're trying to have a town. Trying. You see, they are being peeped by the white supremacists, and the white supremacists are like, oh, no.
Yes.
So that's not even when it comes to the, if you want to separate the buffer class of Muslims, even that we're not fighting that on our own. Trump is sending ICE out there to deal with them. Half them, their paperwork ain't right in the first place.
Damn right, that's what I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying. So when it comes to even the legal ones, he gonna make the block hot, or the ones that think they legal. He gonna make the block hot, and we gonna find out how your paperwork is really thorough. How thorough is your paperwork? Right. That's what they gonna do, and that's all they doing. They just making the block hot. And they gonna start going through all y'all's immigration paperwork with a fine-tooth comb, and you can thank Mondami for that.
God damn it. I need the explosion bomb. All right, we're gonna get right into the reparations right now. I want to set it up.
Hold on. I know you always want to move on. I guess I'll be slow on the trigger.
No, you good. Go ahead, brother. Anybody?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So obviously, I want to echo the sentiments of my sister and definitely my brother Mike. It's no longer a secret, right? And especially since we're no longer holding back and playing nice and being politically correct. There's one true warrior class in the United States of America, and it ain't none of them. So let's just be clear on that and who it is, and who really gonna bust a grape and who ain't. Who gonna eat the fruit salad, whether it's some chutney on it or whatever you like. So the bottom line is this, and this is kind of going to a good segue to the reparations. Yes, see, one of the foundations of reparations is delineation. And what we found is, and what we're seeing is that all these other groups, and I say this all the time, especially to the Pan-Africanists, because they are also sleeper cells for those that want to come in and do harm to our ethnic group and our Foundation Black American families.
Right.
And I'm saying that to say this. These other groups will unite on their immigration status first and foremost, and long before they ever look to identify and unite with us based on race or melanin.
That's right.
And so that's what we're seeing in real time. And all of these other groups that don't unite with us based on melanin have their individual cultures that they bring with them.
Right.
We're the only group that is told we don't have a culture, while at the same time we're pushed to assimilate and abandon that culture, and then take up the other culture so that they can have an in to get in.
Right.
And so I'm saying that to say, and I'll land on this point before we segue to reparations, is this. This delineation movement is literally a godsend from the ancestors, because what's happening is that the same way that they have always practiced and put their culture first and foremost, either the first time in a long time, and Sister Keisha can help me with the history, but it might be the first time ever foundational Black Americans are looking out solely and exclusively for foundational Black Americans and centering our lineage and our cultures, right? And so what's happening is because we're so dominant, because we're the true warrior class, at the same time they're trying to do all the shit that they're trying to do, we just, and I want to say, I'm not going to say we, because I'm not sure the sisters' politics exactly, but in the same area where the Muslims got a stronghold, a foundational Black American sister was just elected to be mayor.
Yeah.
And what's happening at the same time is that all of their push to practice their ethnic cultures, we're doing the same. And ours is going to drown them out as more and more of us get on code and push our delineation. And that's kind of what the reparations movement is doing. As I saw somebody in the chat saying, I don't know if they're going to ever give it. They're going to give it. Well, let's just say they didn't. The byproduct is us getting so on code and insular and depending on each other, we win regardless. We can't lose. And I think that's the great byproduct of what we're doing for reparations. We're galvanizing and centering our families, our lineage, our genealogies first and foremost. And we haven't done that, like I said, in either a really long time or ever.
Ever. This is the first time right here. I love it so much, man. This is, look, when they say God, you might not be there when you call him, but he always on time. This is like the same situation to me. This is right on time, and I'm loving it like grandma's cooked food, man, for real. And it's such a blessing because when we show love, that genuine love, without that little hate or whatever some of us may have in our family, whatever, you know what I mean? That love is just it's different. It's like it's real different. So for us to all of us be on the code like that, man, you can't beat that. That shit feels really good. I'm happy that this is happening. And I'm pretty sure we all are as well. Everybody that's in here, I appreciate y'all. Please do me a favor. The numbers is going up, but please keep sharing. I appreciate everybody. Keep sharing. Now, we have the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, and I'm trying to play the video. I'm going to get to it, though. And she passed the legislation to look into the reparations last year, and she indicated caution on potential divisiveness and recommendation model rather than cash payments, commitments to a specific reparation. So she signed a bill to have this study for the reparations, meaning commission, soft, and so on. But she also have an issue or don't have any plans on how they going to disseminate or give our reparations. She don't want to give us some cash payments, just like the other guy, Bill Asali, however you want to pronounce his name. I got the video too. So just like my boy Mike said, Kathy Hochul, if you don't give me my money, I'm gonna land right there. Mike, I'm gonna set it off with you. Give me your thoughts on this whole situation and Kathy Hochul playing these games, man. I'm gonna set it off with you, brother.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they're gonna touch on this and elaborate much better
Absolutely.
than I can.
Yes, I'm going with everybody. I'm sorry.
As we know, like Brother Divine has said from the jump, this bill is unconstitutional, and basically it's the same old what's that thing called with Snoopy and Charlie Brown? It's the Charlie Brown thing where they set the football for us. Pardon me. They set up the football for us to kick it,
right?
And then when we go, they pull it away.
They move it, yeah.
They're basically saying, hey, we're going to give you a study, and then once the clock runs down, they're going to say, oh man, we're about to do something, and if you want to see what's going to happen next, you got to vote for the next Democrat governor or the next Democrat president. It's one of those situations. That's how I look at this whole thing. It's a bunch of time wasting.
Yeah.
But the good thing out of it is that we're getting all of these people on record, along with, getting on code and creating the right, proper constitutional bill. And like I said, meeting each other, networking, building these connections. So there are good things coming out of it.
Right.
But on their end, I feel it's all a bad fake time wasting thing to make it seem like, oh, we were trying to do it, or that type of thing. Or I also look at it as they're trying to give it to these legacy organizations so that they can be in control and, you know, disseminate the funds and that type of thing.
Right. Anybody else want to piggyback off that, Breuck or Keisha or?
The bill is unconstitutional. It's trash.
Yeah.
So whatever you see coming out her mouth is trash.
Right.
About the reparations, anything having to do with this bill is garbage and bull. She knows it. So don't be fooled by anything she says. There's nothing that can be fixed. It can't be fixed. It can't be trash. And that's the thing. So don't get triggered by anything that is said about this bill, done about this bill, whatever about this bill, whatever Republicans want to tear down the bill. It don't matter. Because that right there is trash. And this is the most important thing. If you want to get on board on something that is not trash, send an email to your legislators to support the bill that our President Devine and the Freedman Project wrote themselves with our FBA Assembly member, Nikki Lucas. If you want to get on board with a bill, you want to talk about something that matters. And see, that's why Kathy Hochul ain't going to talk about that bill. To sit here and bump her gums and expose hot air about a bill that means nothing, is going nowhere, and it ain't worth the paper it's written on, and she knows it. So yes, thank you. The call to actions. This is our call to actions here. So for those of you who would like to read the bills, both the good bill and the bad bill, they are listed there. You could click on the bills and read them for yourselves. So you don't have to take my word for it if you don't want to. And then if you right under that number 1 there, that link there is to take you to, so you could send an email to our legislators. You could be from anywhere in the world. If you want to support, send this email to the legislators and tell them to co-sponsor and to back the bill that is constitutionally sound. That is the bill that they wrote, that the Freedman Project wrote with Nikki Lucas. And then when you go down further, it is going to help us, as President Devine was talking about earlier, delineate and disaggregate from these people so that we can be counted and we know who we are in this state. So there you will be that one. And when you click on number 2, that is going to be a letter to the Black Task Force. When you click on number 3, that is going to be a letter to the New York legislators. When you click on number 4, that is going to be a letter to Kathy Hochul. Each one of these letters take less than 30 seconds, and you will be sending them out to hundreds of people. Okay. And then the last one is my own personal request. As I requested in my hearing and at the last hearing, I requested that they do, because every hearing they have a portion, they do presentations on history. So I asked that one of the presentations that they do be them to bring Numbers USA, Andrew Barnes from Numbers USA in, bring him in. He is our FBA expert on how immigration has hurt foundational Black Americans.
For real.
Since they keep trying to grandfather everybody in, no, let's take a good look at it. Since you keep bringing it up, let's take a good look at it. So this right here is my own personal request for you to email the commission so that they can bring this gentleman in and talk about things that actually matter. And I'll land there.
Perfectly, beautifully said. If you want to piggyback, Devine, please.
No, I definitely do, and I want to use my brother Mike's example. He brought up the peanuts, right, with the football.
Right.
We're talking about Kathy Hochul. She's more like the teacher in the classroom. It's a whole bunch of wah 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 wah. because we met with Kathy Hochul's team before this bill was passed that created this commission. We met with her legal team, her legal advisors, to let them know, hey, this bill is unconstitutional. They acknowledged that it was unconstitutional with the way it was written, and they would take that into account when deciding whether to veto the bill or sign it into law. That was the last we heard of them. The bill never changed, and they signed it into law. So when you get a Kathy Hochul bumping her gums, talking about, well, I support reparations, but it shouldn't be this, it's because she already knows that the way this bill is written, even if they were to give us cash payments, education, programs, none of it is going to go through anyway. Because the bill is written with race-based language, which will produce race-based recommendations, and race-based anything is unconstitutional. And Ed Blum, the conservative activist, is waiting in the wings to challenge anything coming out of New York. You want to know how we know? Because he did a whole article telling it to be so. And they've already done it in all the other locales that have race-based Pan-African local reparations task forces. And so the fix is in, right? They understand that race-based is unconstitutional, it's going to be challenged, it's going to be shot down. But they get a chance to say, hey, but we tried, and it was really those Republicans. So like Mike said, our job is to let them know that we know. And it's our job to let them know that we know that they know.
Right.
Because once everybody knows that we know, that they know, that we know, when it plays out the way it's going to play out, ain't no excuses. Ain't no playing dumb. Ain't no passing the buck. No, it's on you. Because we educated you this entire time. We educated the legislators before this thing even got passed. And we educated the governor before it got signed into law. And this, I'm not saying any of this to impress you, but to impress upon you when somebody comes along, because we know the Roland Martins and the Boule Democrat show class, like, well, did you do this? Did you do a plebiscite? Did you jump through hoops? Did you go to Black Caucus weekend? 3 of them? Like, don't worry about all that. Anything that they're gonna try to ask you as a gotcha, let them know the U.S. Freedom Project did that on our behalf already. You see, Hove did that, so you don't have to go through that.
Talk
don't
that shit.
worry about that. Anything they come up with them, let them know you can say it in good faith. Yes, the U.S. Freedom Project did that. And trust and believe we did it all with that in mind. Because we knew if they ignored what we said, there were only 2 outcomes. You took what we said and we had something that's correct. Or you didn't do what we said and did what you wanted to do and was going to try to pass the buck. And we're not letting either one fly.
And let me just add on to the reason why you have such pushback or these studies coming out of the Democratic Party is because the Democratic Party from its inception has always been complicit in the enslavement and the brutality of Black people. When we talk about we were already here, you have to ask yourself, how did the people already here become enslaved? That's because they were kidnapped and sold into slavery. And the Democrat Party, you can look at the history of all of the Democratic presidents. They all were complicit with these kidnapping clubs, not just through New York, but in Boston and in Philadelphia, who were kidnapping us by the hundreds of thousands. And that's why they continue to put these falsities before us, which are studies and, the comment of Kathy Hochul, well, it can't be cash payments. That's because the Democratic Party, by law, are responsible for reparations because of their complicity. So, I would employ everyone to get the book, The Secrets of the Democratic Party or Democratic Presidents. And you will see for yourself that all of them were complicit from the beginning to the current last one, Biden. All complicit in not paying a debt that is owed. They are not paying the debt that is owed because that is a stance of admission, if you will, with that party. You can also look at the Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers, and they will show you how complicit the Democratic Party has always been, not just in our enslavement, but Jim Crow and everything else that came after it. So we have to understand that history. And get the book, The New York Kidnapping Club. You will see for yourself, and it'll blow your mind. I believe the author has a lecture, or a couple of them actually, on YouTube, and you can check it out, The New York Kidnapping Club, because they tell us about the Underground Railroad, but they never taught you about the reverse Underground Railroad. And that's because it was so rampant, the kidnapping of free Black people. And that was comprised by criminals, judges, and of course the Democratic Party.
Man, dope. I want you to explain your site, Devon. But before you do, I wanted to piggyback on what you were saying, because I had two questions. This is for anybody. Now, do you think now what if I know, but I'm just saying hypothetically for the slow kids in the back of the bus, on the back of the bus. Now, let's just say, because they playing around with our reparations. So let's just say FBA be like, you know what, God damn it, fuck it, we're gonna put everybody in the reparations. Do you think if we just say, you know what, all right, we're gonna add a little here, maybe a little African here, or maybe a little Teller there? I know the answer, but I'm just saying, do you think that they will be like, you know what, all right, I'm gonna give y'all reparations if the immigrants could get some too? I just never heard nobody ask that question, so y'all know I'm special. What's your thoughts, Devon?
So just to not finish, because let me not say that like she left it unfinished, because she did not. But just to add an extra caveat to what our sister Keisha said, in that same book, The Kidnapping Club, it goes into detail, just a little bit of tidbit about how corrupt Richard Riker was, and how complicit he was in those kidnapping clubs. And that's the same, obviously, Riker that Rikers Island is named after. That's the same place that they don't want Ty Holman and them to go up in there to get them immigrants. So it's kind of bringing that full circle with that little bit of history. But I'm definitely gonna pick that book up, because I'm interested in that knowledge. But so here's the thing: there's two scenarios in what you talked about, and that's not an odd question, to be honest, because these are the questions and these are the talking points. We've heard them all. I
had to cut you off real quick, and I apologize. My cousin Scooby watching. Now listen, let me just say this, man. And my boy Lalito is watching, my Honduran brother. I love you to death. We 30 years plus. I love you, Lalito. And salute. I ain't see you in a minute. We just talking about reparations for us. You know what I'm saying? I still love you, but we need our motherfucking money. Continue, brother.
No doubt. So again, as we were advocating, we heard all these harebrained schemes and these other alternatives, right? So there's really only two alternatives. And let's go with the first, since you just mentioned your brother, your Lalito brother. He's from Honduras, right?
Love my Honduran people. Salute.
Right. So let's say we added your brother in and all the other Afro immigrants only, right? Let's say we go that route. Right. And we say, you know what? Now we adding everybody in. If you from the quote unquote diaspora, Africa's diaspora, we adding you in. That's the quickest way to kibosh the whole thing and get it thrown out. Because what happens is that's how the current reparations bill in New York is written. It's for everybody of African descent, right? So what happens is, if that's what you're saying, no, we want it for people of African descent. Here's the problem, because here's the other alternative. Either it's for everybody of African descent, which includes non-racially Black people, like Charlize Theron, like Elon Musk, like Mom Donnie, right? Yeah. And so if you do it that way, that's what the problem with reparations that way is. It's no longer reparations. Because what are you repairing? These are people that came, because it's going to go to people that came 3 days ago. It's going to go to people that came a month ago. It's going to go to people that came 10 years ago. And what's the harm, right? Because they didn't go through what our families went through. So what are we even talking about? But let's say we take all that to the side. The biggest problem is it's no longer reparations. It's a universal program. And what we know about universal programs historically is that foundational Black Americans get left on the bottom.
Absolutely.
Because we're already on the bottom. So if everybody gets the same thing, all you did was lift up the bottom while keeping us at it, right? So if everybody gets the same thing, no change happens. The other side of that is no, we say, you know what? No, we don't want a Charlize Theron. We don't want Elon Musk. We don't want Mom Donnie to get it. Now we just talking about people of African descent that are racially Black. That's already dead in the water because that's race-based. That's what it's based on. And the trick word, just for the family, just so if you hear it when you're out there talking to Pan-Africans or anybody else in this reparation space that's trying to run the okie doke on you, when they say harms, or we're not talking about based on race, we're talking about based on harm. Let me give you the secret. Every reparations, comprehensive reparations package is built on the harm. The question is never about the harm. The question is, who is the harmed party we're talking about? And so what they want to talk about is they want to try to pretend that we're only talking about harms. And the issue is that if you're just basing it on harms, like what they just announced in Atlanta, I believe, with that POC and white task force, it becomes they labeled it as historically set back because the harms in Atlanta happened to foundational Black Americans, but now they're also adding on some of the Jewish people in Atlanta that the harms happened to. So if we're talking about harms, there was a group of Italians that were lynched in New Orleans. They were harmed. You know what I'm saying? There was Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and other Hispanics that were redlined, if we're going to talk about that harm. So it's just another backdoor to do a universal program or to try to Pan-Africanize our thing. We can't do that. We have to have a distinct and well-defined community of eligibility, like in the bill that Sister Breuck talked about that we wrote. And that's why they gave us so much pushback. Because when you make the language tight, when you lead and center our lineage and our families since emancipation, nobody else could get a piece. And that's the biggest issue. They don't want to give us something that they don't get a piece of. And enough of them in New York, and that's kind of what we need to guard against in these next couple of years, is that these other groups have been able to build up enclaves of power that they now leverage and use against us. And that's not allyship. That's bad business deals.
Can I add on to what he was saying?
Absolutely.
I want people. I've testified to this before. I don't remember which one, but one of them. But reparations is back payment for services rendered. Everybody understands what that means.
That's right.
Everybody has worked. You work a job, and they don't pay you. You are owed back pay.
That's right.
If you did not work that job and you did not, and you were paid, you don't get reparations. You don't get to sue them for payment that you received.
Mm-hmm.
And an alternate version is if you did not work at the company and you were at a whole different company. And maybe let's say that company wronged you over there. Maybe let's just say that company wronged you over there. You cannot sue this company for what that company did. So if you were not here on this soil working for free, you are not owed reparations for slavery. And that is what we are fighting for. So you can't put your toe in. You can't put your elbow in and take your elbow out. No hokey pokey.
That's right.
With my goddamn reparations.
That's right.
I am sick of it.
You
have your own claims going on.
Carol Khan.
We're not involved in that. You will not find near a Black American at a CARICOM meeting.
That's right.
Injecting themselves in what y'all are owed. I'm not going to say that anybody other group wasn't owed reparations, but you ain't owed it. You're not owed it from this country.
That's right.
And you're not going to get it off of what we are deserved. And even if we wanted to, we can't share with you because it's unconstitutional.
Boom. Damn. Shit. Who coming back after that? Okay. Shit. Love it. Well, why do you think they are playing around with our reparations? And then we'll get into the immigrants that want to interject themselves, but anyone can answer this question. Why do you think they don't want to just give it to us? Because they playing with our money and they giving us all these goddamn studies, just like my boy Mike said. Y'all didn't do a study to give all these people, these immigrants, money, SNAP and all these benefits and money you send into the small hat land, Israel, Ben Netanyahu and all that shit. Why we have to get the study? So why you think? I know this is just for other people. I know y'all know, but why do you think they playing games with our reparations and really just don't want to give us any reparations? Anybody can take the floor.
First, let me just say, we are the most successful ethnic group on the planet.
Talk about
no other group, and I mean this with my full Brooklyn chest.
That's right.
No other group is more successful than FBA. Period. Bar none. We, with that money, will take over this country by far, economically and socially, right? Because we already have the social order. The video you played of Mandami's former assistant, she's using our vernacular.
Yeah.
Cosplaying our words. You see? So we already have that garnered. Number two, and I said it before, the government is complicit in what happened to us on this soil. You see, they have given aid, set-asides, and money to a many of nations.
Yeah.
A many of nations, and they continue to do it yearly. So even with Africa, for example, Africa gets aid yearly from the U.S. They are getting what the white slave owners in this country got. Reparations. That's what they're getting. Reparations.
Right.
Once we get it here, it's up for Africa. It's done. We coming for our money over there too. Yeah. You see? And that's why they want to grandfather us into this African Union, right? To continue fleecing off of who we are. We are the greatest people on the planet of the earth, and everybody know that. And it's up for everybody once we get our bread. They know that.
Mike, any thoughts, brother? You eating that soul food over there, brother? I know it tastes good, nigga.
Y'all made some great points, and they're definitely trying to get the African Union to be our OGs. They definitely want the African Union to be our big homies so bad. That's another reason why they're trying to delay it, because they're playing with it because they never planned on giving it to us in the first place. But then once we made them talk about the conversation, and once we made them address us as foundational Black Americans, they're like, damn, the jig is almost up. Right. It's going to be inevitable that we get these reparations. It's just them, trying to prolong the inevitable, because we surprised the world with this delineation stuff.
Yeah. You finished, my brother?
Okay. Yeah, I'm finished on that topic. No, like I said, the main thing I wanted to just highlight what Sister Keisha said. They want the African Union to be our OG.
Let me ask you something, Brooke, because I was when I was doing a little research and I seen something when you and Devon did a live. I don't know how long ago it was, but I was trying to figure out I clicked on the link to find a video, but it wasn't up there. But when you was talking about Mandani major in African studies, and then you pulled up a video when he was talking, I guess, about reparations, and you try to steal reparations. Do you have any thoughts on that? Because that's my own personal question. Can you briefly expound on that, if you don't mind?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, when it comes to the beginning of that, I'm gonna because that video was actually given to me by President Divine.
Okay.
So he was following intensely at this time when I was like probably thinking about nail shops and whatnot. So I'm gonna let him talk, and then I might have something, you know what I mean, to piggyback at after.
Absolutely, Brother Divine.
Yeah, you stupid, huh? But so real quick, I want to just end off tie the other part in the bow. We said why they want to give it to us, right? So they already knew, and they always knew that it was old. But like Brother Mike just said, that's the key. That's why I was saying the delineation is the foundation of reparations. Because before we were asking, yo, who, like in our community, we always was like, yo, whose man is this, right?
Right.
At the family reunions, who he came with or who she came with. We always connect that because that was a part of our culture, right? Like and also we understood that we needed to look out for one another. So we always wanted to know who your family was, who your mother is, who your father is, so that we could know just in case something happened to you, or if you were somewhere you didn't need to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We knew what to do. But I'm saying that to say this delineation, it always takes me back to, I know it's kind of, a little cheesy, but walk with me for a second. When Cat Williams was on Club Shay Shay, and he told them time is up and it's going to be the great, like everybody's getting exposed.
Right.
Right. And a lot of stuff that he said sounded crazy, but as more and more time went by, you're like, oh shit, he wasn't lying about that.
Yep.
Hold on. Cat Williams really can run fast. Hold on. What the hell? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like it was all this other stuff that he was saying that you like, oh shit, he's not lying.
Right.
So I'm bringing that up to say all this stuff is starting to be exposed because we getting on call and we listening to the ancestors. So they always knew that reparations was going to be owed and that we was going to ask for it. What they did for so long is that they put the gatekeepers on top of us.
Yeah.
And they had the Black Boule and the Afro-immigrant gatekeepers keeping us away from reparations. But the delineation has exposed all that. Now we know that can we say like real, well it's YouTube, so I ain't gonna go too crazy. We got the sellouts. I'll just call everybody sellouts, right?
Oh,
we got the sellouts.
Huh? I curse. Fuck it.
Okay, cool. So we know we got the domestic coons,
right?
And we got the foreign tethers, right? So now we know that we got to call out both people, and none of them could speak for us. That's why they so goddamn mad right now, because like, oh shit, we can no longer control the narrative.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who that on that nail? You understand what I'm saying? Who is that on that mother? Who on that horse? Like, and why are they up there?
On the nag. On the nag.
Now that's us.
Django. That's fun.
Yes. My bad. Sometimes I speak in movie needs. It just come right out. I'm sorry.
Who is that on that nail?
That's how you looking at us right now, because we're not supposed to be up there.
Right.
They're supposed to be the ones that's up there controlling narrative and letting us know what it's going to be. And now we're like, no, time is up for all y'all. We dictate what it's going to be. And like Mike said, it just threw a monkey wrench in the whole shit. So that's why, this delineation is so important, and why we, now we are on reparations and they can't get us off it because they don't control us no more. And now all the things they sending our way, we just deflecting. Like it's all good. Now, and I'll end it with this so I can get to the question that you asked. Another movie needs on why they don't want to give us the reparations. We already know everything Sister Keisha said is 100% correct. The last part of it is the cultural part. I think somebody said it in the chat with how they view us. And I always think about that scene in the Avengers movie where it's Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. They getting ready to go put foot to ass on Thanos. And Thanos is sitting there and he's like, look, all y'all did just brought y'all back to me. And he's like, I tried to save y'all. But as long as there's people that know how it used to be, they'll never be able to see what could be. And that's the white supremacists. There's an entire crop of white supremacists that remember when we didn't have any rights, when we didn't have any autonomy, and it is so ingrained in their culture that reparations becomes a huge cluster flop when it comes to us and us alone, because they could be against what is given to the Native Americans, but they still do it. They could be against what is given to the Ukrainians, but they still do it. They could be against what's sent to Israel, but they still send it. It's when it comes to us, it's a doomsday scenario. The world is going to end. America's going to collapse. We don't got it. The debt is too high. Y'all going to waste the money, because in their mind, they remember how it used to be. And the issue, that's an issue for them to solve, because we ain't never going back. You understand what I'm saying? So they got to understand that, and that's their issue to fix. Reparations is not to fix your psychosis. It's not to fix racism. It's to pay the debt. And that debt is gone, be paid, because we here to collect. And so I'll say this now, get to the topic. I'm sorry for going on that tangent.
Nah, it's needed, because they don't want us to have our money because we're gonna look good doing it and we're gonna succeed. There's gonna be some people that's gonna frivolously spend their money, but they know there's some great minds. And we're gonna invest, we're gonna buy land, we're gonna do all this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So they really don't want to see that as well. They jealous of us. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck who get mad, and that's just facts.
They never wanted to see it. That's historic. We never got to make that up. That's documented.
Documented.
That's what all the massacres was about.
Yeah.
They saw us living good and they wasn't.
That's right.
That's bottom line. So now to your question about that video.
So
that video is key. And it's like I said, I know I don't want to get too deep and too spiritual, because I want to turn it into that. But I believe that everything is happening in divine order. So Mamdani is in office, and I think that puts us in a perfect position to continually use him and leverage him, because remember, he's a living example of why we need to delineate, because he lied on that goddamn application. He said he was African American. So he's a constant reminder for as long as he's in office that we got to delineate, if not for any other reason, because Mamdani can be African American. We can't be African American if Mamdani could be African American. Because like I say, if you could be you and you could be me, who am I? And the answer to that is nobody. And in the words of Messy Jesse, I am somebody. You understand me? So we're not going with the we nobody. But the video you're talking about specifically is during the time that bill was being debated. Mamdani got up and said, hey, I'm of African descent, which he is 100% correct. And he said, hey, look, and here's where it got problematic, and this is kind of where we got to push back, because obviously this is his mindset. And so he said, I'm of African descent, but the commission wouldn't give me reparations because they know that I'm not black. And that's fine to a certain degree, but here's the problematic part. And you guys can watch this video for yourself in Breuck's stream. Sister Breuck's upload on her video. He said, who better to decide who's black and who's not black than the government, because they've been doing it this entire time. We got a problem. If you believe that the government gets to dictate who's black and who's not, you're a part of the problem. But and that's not just indicative to him. We even have this issue with the Afro immigrants, because he's an Indian immigrant, even though he's of African descent. Even the Afro immigrants, that them Pan-African sleeper cells in power, they also believe that the government gets to dictate who's who. And that's why they always running around here talking about, I'm African American. Why? Because the government told them that they're African American. They'll also say, I'm a black American because I'm racially black and I was born in America, I'm an American citizen. So I'm black American. See, people will ask us, well, why do you guys say foundation black American? Why is it needed? Because left-wing white supremacy and their immigrant tools are in cahoots.
That's right.
They set the pins up and the Afro-immigrants knock it down and the Pan-Africans give them cover. So what's happening is that every other name that we've had for ourselves, whether we liked it or not, even going to African-American, the government then redefined to add them, and they socially come in and perpetuate the propaganda and say, yeah, that's me, even though they know it's not them. but they rest on, but look at the governmental and the federal level definition. And that's why you're not us, because we've always bucked the system and pushed against any labels they was trying to give us that we didn't agree with. My mama told me a long time ago, it ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to. See, them the tethers don't know nothing about that, because that's foundational Black American culture. That's a foundational Black American proverb. That ain't taught in their village. That ain't taught in immigration classes. So when they come here, they listen to what the power structure says. And that's why we ain't the same.
Man, that's beautifully said, man. And that's the thing. I question Messy Jesse as well, too, for even creating the African-American descriptive term in 88. Was that him consciously knowing the effect that it has, or he was doing it pure-hearted because of descendants or connected to Africa through slavery, even though most of us been here? Like,
well, we know
he had nefarious motives
right
to jump. I believe that the CIA, all of them got together to do that, because it's well known and documented that Jesse Jackson is a documented registered member of, what is it, the Cherokee Nation?
Yeah, they
knew what they were doing. That African American thing, to them, that was supposed to be the final nail in the erasing our indigenous aboriginal connection to this land. That was supposed to be the final thing. They was like, hey, after this generation of millennials growing up, we about to Pan-Africanize the hell out of them, and they almost got us.
Yeah, they had us for a long time. They had us for a long 62 to 4 years to be exact. Something like that.
My whole life.
But shit, we here now, and y'all can kiss my ass. Hey, look, all of us is from New York, so we grew up around. I love y'all. I love some of my Puerto Rican, my Hondurans, my Jamaicans, this, that, and the third. I love y'all. But I'm not going to let y'all overshadow the people that's in your ethnic group that really look down on us and that's really trying to sabotage our reparations, because they are literally coming to the goddamn meetings and try to claim themselves as African American. That made me segue to this damn question. We are seeing Caribbean immigrants attending reparations meetings and referring themselves as African Americans. What's the danger in using Pan-African, Pan-Black labels? I wrote this earlier, instead of lineage specific terms like FBA. If y'all got that question, okay.
I'm gonna let Brooke and Divine handle this, but I need to say this with Jesse Jackson. You have to remember that during that time, that's when the Pan-African movement was really taking a foot again, right? He was walking around with afros and dashikis back then, right? But he also was a shakedown artist, right? So he got a lot of money from the Democrat Party to reclassify us, right? And there are plenty of articles where you could see that Black people weren't on board with that during that time. Also, you can read a book called Shakedown, Exposing the Real Jesse Jackson. And I believe it's on audiobook too. And you will see how conniving he is, how slick and dirty. Going back to Operation Breadbasket, which is the precursor to the Rainbow Push Coalition, right? So they got a lot of money to do that. But read the book, Shakedown, Exposing the Real Jesse Jackson, and that'll give you all the answers you need on that. Go ahead. I'm going to let Brooke and Devon deal with it.
Or if y'all want to piggyback on what she said and Mike said, I could go right ahead if that's what y'all want to. If you have your thoughts.
I'm over here looking for that book.
And it's called New York Kidnapping Club.
Oh, that's a different book.
That's a different book.
She was talking about that earlier. New York Kidnapping Clubs.
Okay.
That's a great
New
book.
York Kidnapping Club is one book. The other book about the Democratic presidents is The True and Detailed Racist History of the Democratic Party, written by Robert Zerfing. That too is on audio book. It's about an hour, 15-minute listen. because they go through the history quick of those presidents. And the final one was Shakedown, Exposing the Real Jesse Jackson. You got to read those books. And I think, yeah, that's on audiobook too, Exposing the Real Jesse Jackson. And that'll give you all the answers you need about why he came up with that. Money was behind that. He used to shake down a black business owner, FBA business owners in Chicago at that time for the Rainbow Push Coalition. So, he always been grimy. And you can listen to on YouTube interviews by Hosea Williams. Hosea Williams was the strong arm of the civil rights movement of Jesse Jackson, Andrew Young, Abernathy, Hosea Williams, and what's his name? The light-skinned dude. But anyway, they he was the strong arm behind that crew. And he talked about how dirty not only Jesse was, but other people in the camp. They got a lot of money, got a lot of jobs, and things behind that, including drugs and a whole lot of other stuff. But check out Hosea Williams. And those of you who watch Housewives of Atlanta, he is the grandfather of Portia Williams. And I know he's turning in his grave right now to see what she's about, running around with Black Lives Matter. But anyway, I'm gonna land in.
Well, the fact that she thought that the Underground Railroad had a train.
There's people who felt that way. I'm not gonna lie, but please.
And she said it on TV. It was embarrassing. Even Phaedra was like, Lord, ain't this Hosea Williams' granddaughter? She thought there was a train. Lord, with that Atlanta accent, she was like, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Yeah, he's turning. He been turning.
And I want to because I remember Steve Coakley, God bless his soul. He exposed the whole Boule and definitely Messy Jesse. Motherfucker, he knew Martin Luther King was gonna get murdered, and then he was the first one on the plane out of there when there was nobody could fly, but his ass was able to get the hell up out of there that same night. Crazy. And then and then I'm pretty sure we all know that the photographer was a African immigrant who was an FBI informant that was close to Martin Luther King. So just telling this every fucking where. You know what I mean? Coons and tellers. I need to make
you can check out Judge Joe Brown too.
I'm making a song tonight. Coons and tellers. Watch. But go ahead, baby girl.
You can check out Judge Joe Brown on YouTube talking about Jesse Jackson and all of that Pan-African and stuff back in the day. So there's quite a few interviews with him on YouTube talking about that.
And on that too, just to piggyback on that, also Judge Joe Brown. Well, let me first say this because I'm actually getting ready to say something that she's responsible for. So like Brother Mike was saying, them trying to get the African Union to be our OGs. The African Union can never be my OG because my OG is sitting right here with us. And that's Sister Keisha. And that's Brother Tal. We already got foundational Black American OGs that have been in this game and are just a wealth of, this sister is a wealth of knowledge. And every time I feel like I'm getting to the point where I've heard it all or the bag is gonna run out, like it's just more in there. It's just always more. It's just always
another
more.
book, another documentary,
right.
another something.
Tidbit, you know what I'm saying? Another factoid. You know what I'm saying? This is my OG. So I want to make sure I give the honor, like as we are here sitting here. And so, another tidbit that I got from my sister Keisha with Judge Joe Brown, he talks about Karanga the agent out there in California, another Pan-African, and how he was instrumental in working for whoever he was working for to stop the Black Studies program in California to turn it into Pan-African Studies. So this Pan-African, like it's a bunch of projection when you get the Pan-Africans online calling us that are about our lineage coons. Let me be clear, because this really angers me because they have taken our language and Pan-Africanized it and given it to the Afro immigrants. A coon is a Black American that goes against the best interest of the collective of Black Americans for personal gain. It ain't got shit to do with the diaspora or liking or disliking immigration. That doesn't factor into what we talking about. So when you got these Pan-Africans and Afro-immigrants calling us coons because we don't want to do immigration, because we don't want to be called African, it's just nonsense. It's bullshit. You see what I'm saying? And so we can't allow them to take our language and terms. And what's even more telling is that with all the historical account of how many actual agents push Pan-Africanism, they got slurs. We all know about Akata, Jarir, Abid, Mzungu, like all these terms for Black Americans on the continent that they use. And there's people that have never come into contact with a Black American in their whole life, but they know the slur for us.
Yep.
But you know what ain't as widespread as the slurs for us? Terms in their language and their culture for sellouts. Ain't that crazy? There's no Nigerian word for sellout. There's no East African term for sellout. And you would think that given their history, there will be a term for sellouts, because that's the entire history of y'all people in any country you choose on the continent. So it's wild that they got a term for us, but they don't got a term for sellout. And I'll end this because you have to go ahead, brother.
It's almost like it's a thing to be a coon where they at. You know what I mean? They like to be a traitor where they at. That's the thing to do. That's why when they come in, like they are part of the British colony, the European oppressors. They feel like they one of them. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, King. I'm sorry.
Nah, that's a great point, because somebody said it to me. Somebody said it to me one time, so I didn't come up with this, but they was like, yo, can somebody be a sellout if they never bought in? And I was like, damn, you right. No, they can't. And that's the thing. They can't sell each other out because they never bought into unity.
Yeah.
That's not a part of their culture.
Yeah.
It's every tether for himself or for herself. If you're not a part of this tribe, I ain't fucking with you anyway, so I can't sell you out because you're not with me and I'm not with you.
Facts.
That's how the whole thing was set up. That's what they still come here and do to us. But again, I'm sorry for the tangent. Let me get down to what you asked. The question you asked was,
I like that.
What's the problem with using African American and letting them identify as such? The issue is that it becomes, even when the intentions are good. So intentions be damned. It could be good intentions or bad intentions. The bottom line is it's erasure.
Right. And
I use this as an example when I was talking to the politicians in Albany about delineation. If we got, I don't know if anybody, but I got siblings, so I'll use myself as an example. If everybody just called me my mother's kids instead of our individual names, that's erasure. Now, I am my mother's child. All of our siblings are our mother's kids. But if you reduce our identity to just being the kids of our mother, then you take away our individual autonomy. That's what African American does. Regardless of whether you think we're one, a diaspora, family related, if you just call me African American, which means foundational Black Americans, Afro-Caribbeans, continental Africans, Afro-Latinos, Afro-Asians, and damn near anybody else with melanin, if you just call me that, I'm erased. Because there's no universal African American culture.
Right.
There's no universal African American ethnic group. There's no universal African American unity. And so prior to 1997, again, regardless of whatever we think about it and how Messy Jesse did push it, before 1997, African American meant foundational Black American. It meant those of us that had ancestors that was enslaved and emancipated in the United States of America. But again, to what you said, do you think that it was a setup? Do you think he knows? I don't think anything in this body politic happens in the vacuum. So I believe they knew. They paid Jesse to do it in the 80s because they knew in 1997 they was going to try to hit us with the KO, like Mike said. But in the words of our sister Brandy, almost doesn't count. So you didn't get us. The bottom line is this. You tried to redefine it in 1997. Sing that song, Mike. In 1997, they redefined it to make it everybody in the diaspora. And the reason why I know that they don't do anything in a vacuum is because of this. In 2021, right here in New York, this immigrant city council that's going to be empowered under Mamdani, so we got to watch them. They voted to allow non-citizens the right to vote in our local elections as long as they've been in the city for more than 30 days. They took a long vacation, they could vote. Now, that happened in 2021. Shortly thereafter, we get the migrant crisis. Do you know all of those people would have been legally allowed to vote in New York?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And so this is what happens. They know they have a plan. This government ain't doing something year to year, day to day. It's like, what's the 5-year plan, 10-year plan? So they had that set up.
That's
but
right.
Again, not to impress, but just to let people know what's going on. It was the U.S. Freedman Project.
Talk about it. You got to brush your own. You got to pat your own self on the back. Pat yourself on the goddamn back. Do it.
We got with the right wing, the same people they say don't work with. See, because the U.S. Freedman Project, we nonpartisan. We know none of these. We know none of these parties is for us, but we're gonna find a way to use any one of them we can to get ours done. Because we went to the Democrats and was like, "Yo, how could you pass this knowing that it's gonna dilute foundational Black American voting power? How could you even do this as Democrats talking about you trying to preserve democracy, but you're going to give non-citizens the right to vote, knowing that these non-citizens are dumped into our communities. So they're going to be taking and diluting our political power. And a sister in the city council said that at the time. They still passed it and pushed it through. De Blasio didn't sign it because he already knew it was a piece of shit, but he didn't veto it. And then when Eric Adams came into office, he just left it alone because as a mayor, when something gets past the city council, you have to actively veto it for it to not be a law. If you just leave it, it becomes a law automatically. And so that's what Eric Adams did, because he knew that it was a toxic bill, but he just left it alone since de Blasio left it alone, and then it passed. The Democrats wasn't trying to give us no love. They wasn't trying to hear us when we was like, yo, it's going to dilute we are your constituents. We're one of the largest, if not the largest ethnic group in New York. How you going to disenfranchise us with this for non-citizens? They wasn't trying to hear us.
Right.
So now imagine if we go by that rule where we supposed to just vote blue no matter who. Our vote wouldn't mean shit in the city, in the state of New York. So what we did, we was like, you know what, look, Republicans, y'all ain't trying to fuck with what they did, right? Y'all don't mess with these illegal immigrants. What's good? What we gonna do? I know you're not really trying to do nothing for us, but what we talking about?
Right.
They were the ones that then got the lawsuit together to challenge it based on the New York Constitution. So they all knew that was unconstitutional, but they passed it anyway. And the way it works is it can rock out if nobody does the challenge, even though it's unconstitutional. See, that's how the law works. It's only winning if it's enforced. So they passed that unconstitutional resolution to give non-citizens the right to vote. And if nobody challenged it, that would still be the law of the land today. And all the quote-unquote migrants and asylum seekers would have been voters. But the Republicans got together, took it to the Supreme Court, and that's why non-citizens can't vote in New York City today. Because you know who was supporting it? The NAACP, NAN, the Urban League, all the Pan-African orgs. So all these people that claim they fight for us was willing to let non-citizens get the right to vote.
Yeah.
You know who the only organization in New York fighting for Foundation Black Americans was like, nah, we're not letting this pass and they ain't gonna go down our watch? The U.S. Freedman Project, this little engine that could. We was like 1 year old. We just got out the gates and we was like, oh shit, no, we can't let this pass. And we got involved and got the shit overturned. Because the other groups don't let the shit go. This is the type of nefarious shit we up against. And that's why it feels like it's us versus everybody. And I got this.
Man, everybody, this is what I'm saying. That's why I spoke to them earlier before we went live. A lot of us are watching from afar, and we have people right here that's on this panel here that's out doing the fucking work. Y'all better follow these motherfuckers. If y'all don't listen to nothing that I say, follow Miss Breuck, Queen right there. Follow my brother Divine Prince. Make sure you follow Miss Goddamn Keisha. I'm not gonna say your last name, sweetheart. My boy Melrose Radio. Make sure you really fucking follow these people. We're gonna put all the links in at the end. We ain't done yet, but I just had to say that. Continue, man, because people like y'all is like the little engine that could now, nigga. You got carts hooked up to the little engine now.
You know what I mean?
Conversations like this now.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It was one cart and we was behind it pushing the shit. It didn't have no fuel. It couldn't go. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we throwing coal in the engine and shit like on them old cartoons.
Right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing about it is that, again, I say this all the time, so hopefully nobody gets tired of it. But that's how I got my start, because before this, I was really like, we going black capitalism our way out of it. We just, circulate our dollar and just get our money together, and that's going to do the trick. And so one of the only things that I took from that time was that my mentor at the time told me, if you look around and see that something needs to get done and nobody else is doing it, that means it's you. And so when we got in this game and we were advocating for our people, and we saw that nobody was really advocating for us in the way that all the other groups advocate for their people, it was like, hold on. Then we got to become that, because we're not going to survive if we let them stay at the helm. Imagine if we didn't challenge that law. Imagine if we wasn't pushing for reparations based on lineage. See, one more thing, and again, this is I want to be clear, because I know you said pat yourself on the back, but I never want to act like I'm bragging. I'm trying to impress anybody. But I want y'all to know how dire this situation could have been if the ancestors didn't activate us and put it at the helm. Because it's not me, it's the ancestors, and we doing this for the family. The first iteration of this reparations bill had exactly what Mike was talking about. How come we can't just give reparations to everybody? The first iteration of the bill had the Pan-African orgs written into the bill. That shit violates all type of ethics.
Yeah.
And that first version had IBW 21, Knox Slash and Cobra, and the December 12th movement. All tentacles of Dr. Ron Daniels, who's on the commission now, which is why I'm always calling him out every chance I get. Because that would have given them a quorum, essentially, not even essentially, they literally would have been able to vote on and pass whatever they wanted, make reparations, whatever they needed. So even if they was having hearings, they could pay us lip service, and not do anything we could say, and there was nothing we could do about it because the legislation gave them full autonomy over the whole commission. And if you go to the website, don't take my word on, like Sister Brooke says, if you go to the Knox Slash and Cobra website, and if you look at what they believe reparations is repatriation, that going back to Africa bullshit. It's talking about creating like essentially a reparations slush fund, which they are in control of it, and they get to dictate who gets what, when, where, why, and how. Like, it's a whole bunch of bullshit. And so if they had that initial version, that would have been what it was. And it was us and the family getting together, making noise, doing the same exact thing that we asked you to do now with the emails that got that original bill shot down and got me cursed out by one of the elders that have passed on, right? So, and that was down with the Pan-African stuff. But the bottom line is it was all well worth it. And so we already know when we come together, we can win. When we tap in, we win. And that's what we're asking everybody to do. Tap in together.
I would like to do a quick segue, man. Because you answered a lot of my questions. All of y'all answered a lot of my questions, because I was going to say, will you negotiate with Republicans and the Democrats to give us our reparations? So you pretty much answered all of that. It's a lot of questions y'all answered. I want to play this video, and I'm not trying to start any or quarrels or any kind of friction, but I just wanted to get your opinion on this. Just 2 short videos.
Where have Republicans been on the conversation on reparations?
That's a really good question, Ashley, and I think maybe Republicans haven't done a great job on communicating on this issue. Now, in full transparency, there's a lot we don't agree on. Yes. Okay, so I want to be very clear. I don't support cash reparations because I don't believe California was the primary financial beneficiary of slavery. So, if slave states or the Democrat Party wants to pay reparations, that's fine with me, but not the California taxpayers. However, we are the party that fought to abolish slavery. We were founded to abolish slavery. We fought a civil war. Our first president was Lincoln. This is a natural constituency group for the Republican Party. And so this bill, again, is very narrow. It just creates a government system to have genealogy services so we can identify and have a class of Americans who are truly descendants of slaves. And what we do with that, I think, is up for discussion. I think there's a lot of Republican ideas, a lot of Republican principles that we can get behind. For example, I've thrown out there, maybe they get school choice vouchers, so that way they can send their kids to the best schools in California and not have to be stuck in our failing public schools. There are ideas that...
So they're calling it the Agency for Descendants of American Slaves. And the California Reparations Task Force, we were very intentional in recommending that the agency be called the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency, because the term American freedmen has historical and constitutional force. So, and there's even, you know, some interesting kind of background in terms of why they made that decision as well. You know, they're working with a group called ADOS that's largely based outside of California to get back at, you know, the organizers, the Black Californian organizers like the Coalition for Just and Equitable California, that was simply just trying to hold the CLBC accountable since they broke their promises this past legislative session.
Now, this is probably like a two-part question or whatever. First, salute to her. So this is not anything kind of crazy, but she mentioned ADOS. So I need y'all to touch on that. So I already know the difference between FBA and ADOS, this and the third. But how do you feel about this conversation? She sat with the U.S. Attorney Bill. I keep forgetting his last name, the white guy. And we already know what happened with the California Task Force. So I had a thought when she used the ADOS term. I'm not saying it was a red flag, but you know, my spidey senses kind of picked up. Overall, what you think about the whole situation and Miss Camilla Moore anyway, in that whole debacle that happened over there? Like, what's your thoughts about that? If anybody want to talk about that.
Yeah, can I go on a little bit on that?
Nigga, go ahead.
So, full disclosure, I want to make sure, you know what I'm saying, because we don't do nothing underhanded. Sister Camilla Moore is my sister. Like, I rock with Camilla Moore. I've worked with her. She's helped us in New York. She was the chair of the California Task Force when we were educating the New York State legislators on how to get this right. I was able to contact my sister Camilla Moore, and she came in and did meetings with us, with those politicians. That's how we know that they know how to get it right, because we learned from everything that was going on in California, right? So what happened here is this, just to kind of give a little bit of background. I'm trying not to be long, try to get the Cliff Note version. So the reason why she's sitting with Bill Asaley is because they engaged with the California Legislative Black Caucus, the CLBC. And what happened was that they had a bill, right, for the California American Freedmen, California Agency for American Freedmen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they was using American Freedmen is the same reason why the name of my organization is the U.S. Freedmen Project, or not Negro, colored. Well, we created before Foundation Black American, was the term. But the bottom line is this: the reason why it's Freedmen is because Freedmen gives us, that is the legislative term. So I said this on another live, so I want to make sure I say this here too. Foundational Black American socially delineates us, socially and culturally delineates us. Freedmen legislatively disaggregates us because it is a non-racial term.
Right.
That was given to only the families who survived the killing fields of the South and was emancipated. That's why it works.
Right.
So it's when you say Freedmen, you don't have to say Black. Because this country only enslaved Black people, right? There was no white slaves, despite the right wing talking points, blah, 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 blah. So that's that point. So the reason why they use Freedmen is because it had historical precedent, and it would uphold the right-wing conservatives that are going to challenge anything that comes out of any reparations task force, whether it be locally or at the federal level. So what happened was that they were working with the CLBC. They got this reparations. Well, first of all, the CLBC didn't take on the agency bill. They are the gatekeepers. Let's just be clear. So these are the coons, and there's some tethers on there too. So the CLBC is coons and tethers. We're gonna keep it a buck tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
So what they did was they were talking about, we got a reparations package, but when you looked at it, it was the Crown Act, like let people wear their hair the way they want. It was a whole, let's do a statue, let's do an apology, let's put plaques over here. It was a whole bunch of empty symbolic bullshit. So they didn't even take up the agency bill. And there was a separate bill that was calling for a fund because they had raised some money, I think it was like $12 million, that they were going to put into a reparations fund that could only be used to fund reparations or reparations legislation, right? So they didn't have to worry about trying to get money on the back end like the task force in New York had to do, since they didn't ask for no money. But that's another point.
Right.
So what happened was the CLBC did not take up any of those real reparations policies. So what happened was is that Senator Bradford, who was on the task force with Sister Camilla Moore, he said, you know what? This is my last year. I'm going to run for lieutenant governor. I'm going to take the real shit. I'm going to put the real policies that the CLBC would never do. So he introduced the reparations fund bill and he introduced the agency bill. All throughout the session, when they had a chance to say, we're not even going to support this, we're going to throw this shit in the trash, whatever they needed to say or come up with another excuse, they could have did. But they had hearings for both the bills. Where the CLBC and all the other politicians in California get to vote on it to say whether they're going to pass it or not. And it passed every chamber of California and passed every hearing that it had. So you get to the last day of the session. It's the last day, meaning if you don't pass it today, it's dead. And on the last day, you had activists. Camilla Moore was one of them. The CJAC, was one of them. LEAP was one of them. A bunch of people that are part of our nationwide reparations network. ADOS was not one of them. So I'm going to come back to that. Make sure we're going to put a pin in that.
Absolutely.
ADOS was not on the scene. So they are there saying, okay, great. You know what? It passed everything. They thinking it's going to be, like my man Dave Chappelle. It's a celebration, bitches. Like he thinking it's going to be on because it passed every point it needed to pass. And on the last day, the CLBC pulled some sucker shit and don't even bring the bill up for a vote. Because now it passed every chamber, but they got to vote on it in the House to get it to the governor's desk. They don't even bring my man's bill. Even though it passed everything else, they don't even bring it up to a vote. So Asali is in, he sees all these people. Now, granted, I want to make sure I'm clear. The same way I told y'all, I worked with the Republicans to get that non-citizen bill turned over. I ain't no fool. I ain't no coon. I ain't here saying, oh, the Republicans support everything we trying to do. Hell no, they ain't supporting shit that we trying to do.
Right.
But my point is this, and here's what I need the family to get to. I call it being politically nimble. We got to take emotions out of it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? If this side can do something for us that's going to benefit us, we got to use them.
That's right.
If the other side is going to do something that's going to politically benefit us, we got to use them. Because here's what I need the family to understand, despite popular belief, despite the propaganda. Take it from somebody that's on the ground. The Republicans do not want to see lineage-based reparations. The Democrats do not want to see lineage-based reparations. Once you can get that through your head, then you can actively get in this politic game. Because once you know neither side wants to do it for you, now you understand that you got to create leverage to make them do what you want to do. Because there ain't nothing that this country ever did for us that we didn't make them do. I want that to sink in too. So now we get there. It doesn't go for a vote. Bill Asali is like, you know what? I don't really support reparations, but I want to stick it to my Democrat colleagues. So he like, you know what? Shit. Give me the bill. I'll bring it up for a vote. Because he know the Democrats don't want to bring it up. So he like, shit, let me bring it up. So because the Republicans are the minority party in California, they don't have the power to bring it up. The Democrats still got to okay it. That's the difference between when you're the majority party and the minority party. That's why it's like majority speaker, minority speaker. That's why Hakeem Jeffries ain't got no real power because the Republicans are the majority in the House right now at the federal level. So anyway, he couldn't bring it up. And so Isaac Bryan, who is like King Coon right now, Bill Asali was trying to record at the same time, like, yo, look at them trying to stop me from bringing this up. So Isaac Bryan stood in front of Bill Asali to block him from
The tall light skinned dude.
Tall light skinned dude with the bald head. Yes.
I got his video.
Yes.
So go ahead, King.
He stands in front of Bilicelli, so Bilicelli can't document what's going on and show it online. So long story short, he blocks him from being able to video, and the bill never comes up for a vote. So they kill the bill, not because they didn't have the votes, but because the CLBC, along with Gavin Newsom, did not want to see lineage-based reparations happen in any way, shape, or form. So that was last year. This year, they're like, you know what? The advocates on the ground in California, and I support them wholeheartedly. So let me be on the record saying I support their movement and the moves that they made. They were like, the CLBC can't be trusted, obviously. So they went with Bilicelli and say, hey, Bilicelli, I know you're Republican, but do you agree that there needs to be an agency just for the American freedmen? So now he doesn't believe in reparations. Let's be clear. But you know what else they don't believe in? Giving set-asides and resources to everybody black. So they're like, you know what? If we're going to have an agency that just deals with the American freedmen versus an agency that deals with everybody black, if we got to choose one of them, I'm with the one that's just for y'all lineage because the country owes y'all something. I may not agree with y'all getting it, but I do know that the country owes y'all something. So that's how you got them sitting together pushing the agency bill, because he doesn't believe in cash payments, but he's okay with understanding that only American freedmen, only foundational black Americans deserve an agency. Got that so far?
Yes, absolutely. That's leverage right there.
Right, exactly. And so now you got two bills. So this is how you create leverage. You're like, you know what? We got the Republicans over here. Now, if y'all get on board with us Democrats, because y'all claim to be bipartisan, y'all claim to really just want to do us right, we got a Republican on board, so we already know we got the Republicans' votes. We just need y'all, since y'all the party of Black American Foundation Black Americans anyway, right? Support this bill so we can get it right. They don't do that. And so they have their own version of the bill, which was, instead of the California Agency, American Freedmen Agency, they created an agency for American slave descendants. But when you read the bill, it's a universal bill, because in the bill it says, and others. So that means it could be Afro immigrants, it could be white immigrants, it could be the LGBT. So essentially it's a universal program. And here's why she mentioned ADOS in the interview. Not because she supports ADOS, but she's calling them out, because you want to know who was in cahoots with that bill? The same Isaac Brian Kuhn that was blocking him from bringing the bill for a vote, because they knew that bill was going to be a universal program that the Governor Newsom would sign, because it don't mean shit. If it's for everybody, it's for nobody.
Right.
But you know what grassroots, quote unquote, organization supported the bill to kind of give them some validity? ADOS. That's what ADOS. Right. Yvette Carnell. Exactly. And so that's what Sister Camilla Moore is pointing out, that you got the California advocates on the ground rocking with Bilicelli, not because he supports reparations, but because he's supporting a constitutionally sound bill. While you got ADOS, who has almost no presence in California, supporting Isaac Bryan, the coon, saying, yeah, let's push this slavery descendant bureau that's for everybody. That was what happened there. And that's the juxtaposition of what's going on. And so Bilicelli eventually went to go work with Trump, blah, blah, blah. The bill, doesn't get the support that it needs because the Democrats are freezing it out. And then you get the slavery descendant bureau that obviously the CLBC is behind, because it's for everybody, which means it's for nobody. Gavin Newsom signs it because obviously it's for everybody, meaning it's for nobody. And that's what you get. That's why that bill passed and the other one did not. And so now you got this bureau that ain't shit. But at the same time, they passed another bill in California that used the reparations fund money to give it to, I think it's either Cal State or Cal Berkeley. It's one of the California schools that's going to be doing another study on top of the reparations study that they already did.
Damn.
For like another 3 to 5 years. And so now what happens is that it's supposed to be a study on how to do genealogy. And people are like, we already know how to do genealogy. But again, it's a stalling tactic, because we think Gavin Newsom is going to run for president in 2028, and he don't want reparations holding him down. So they did another okie doke to where now this other bill says we can't move forward any legislation until we figure out how to do genealogy. So even though that slavery descendant bureau bill passed, which is for everybody. It can't do shit until that study is done anyway. So this is how the game that they play, where they say we are trying, we are doing something, but it's all stalling tactics. And the reason, like I said, the reason why, just so we clear, the reason why the sister mentioned ADOS is because ADOS worked with the ops to undermine the California advocates on the ground to pass not an unconstitutional bill, because it's not based on race, but it's a universal program masquerading as a reparations bill, which still can't go into effect until the study on how to do genealogy is done 3 to 5 years from now.
I have 2 more questions, and then everybody could close out if, it all depends on y'all. But we've been here for a minute, but, we can go on forever, and hopefully we can do a part 2. I wanted to play this video real quick.
So this is Assemblyman Mr. Bryan. He's mad I brought up the reparations vote. So he's preventing me from speaking, and he's trying to block my access to it. Why are you so upset?
You vote for 3 strikes. You put black folks in prisons, but
here
now
for
you
3
want to be a reparations person.
Well,
But you won't vote
have
for the bill. I supported the bill all session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the
Sethi?
bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it
I
up.
would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations
Bring
together.
it up. Bring it up.
You in, Bill?
Bring it up.
I didn't think so.
Bring it up. I'll vote for it. Bring it up. I'll vote for it.
So that's the video you talking about, right?
Yes.
I didn't even know that until you said that, but
yeah. And I just want to say this one thing. I don't want to be long-winded. I'm gonna say this. I know we're trying to move and get out of here. But I want to point out this so that we understand the tactics that both sides plays, right? Because Bill Sadie, who you can't see who's talking, is saying bring it up because he knows that they won't bring it up. And Isaac Bryan is saying, are you going to vote for it? Because he knows he's not going to bring it up anyway. You see what I'm saying? So they're both just posturing, using us. And that's unfortunately how I always say this all the time because people try to say, oh, we for the left wing or we for the right wing. Whatever you desire to be, that's your personal choice. But I want y'all to understand that there has never been a good guy in this body politic on either side. The only good guy is the foundational Black Americans. We are the only ones that have ever pursued justice for all at all times. Right. Each side has tried to leverage what was done to us or what could be done to us for their political gain. Even we going back to the compromise of 1877. Like, no matter what, that's what we've been. We've been the bargaining chip this entire time. And that was just in full display in that exchange, them trying to use us as the bargaining chip, that bill, because they both knew that it wasn't coming up and that they wasn't going to vote for it.
You good, Mike? You quiet,
yeah,
motherfucker. All right. So, do you have anything to expound on, Mike? I nigga like this. That nigga just chilling.
Yeah, y'all cooking, but yeah,
they cooking, nigga.
First clip you played.
Let me turn you up real quick. Say that again, brother.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, homie from the first clip you played, he tried playing that game that Jumaane Williams played about how we're not going to know who the money goes to, as if we don't know how to trace our lineage, which many of us have already done, or at least the people I know. That's something else we got to watch out for.
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
That's all I want to add.
All right. Everything that you said, I made sure I saved this question for last, but there's so much I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk about the hurricane in Jamaica, this and the third, but we can always say this for another time. But this is my last question to everything that you said, and you said it so beautifully, man. And again, everybody, y'all better follow these people. Y'all better follow these motherfuckers. So here's my real, true, honest last question. I saved this question for last. It's a little bit loaded, but I could distill down to this. We know that this government is controlled by an entity. I'm not even going to say what I had there. The left and right wing is on the same bird flying in the goddamn same direction, right? What is the other alternative if we don't get any reparations? And I add, this is their game we're playing. They can make the rules and change the rules because we're playing their game. You see, everybody playing game. Bill, Brian, and every motherfucking body. Zaron, every motherfucking body, right? So if we don't get it, and we did everything, we played the rules, got the lineage, the words written right, everything right. Still a no, right? Do we take this shit in blood? Because everything that they have done has been taken in blood. But we're gonna do this thing the right way. You know, we're gonna, like I said, it's kind of loaded. I asked a question, but this is my little feelings about it because I just feel like, yo, what the fuck? We know on both sides these niggas gonna be playing games. It's almost like, what's that shit? Dangling the carrot. And the fucking rabbit just following the carrot. Well, how you know what the fuck I mean? It just following the dangling the carrot. And he gonna be playing with us until eternity. When, at what point, if we tried everything possible and they still say, fuck you, nigger, FBA, Freedman, so on and so on. Those are bars. No, nigga. What will be the last alternative? Because my mind, how I'm wired, I'm taking that shit. And I might be too old by then. So young nigga, I put a battery in a young nigga back. Kill them motherfuckers. Take it. What is the alternative after everything? I land right there.
It's coming. It's going to come. No, there probably was a time where people couldn't have foreseen us getting out of chattel slavery. That happened. 150 years later, there was probably a time where people couldn't see integration and, you know, civil rights, but that happened. There's going to be some sort of incident. There's going to be some sort of tipping point where these white supremacists, they go in, they're getting way over their heads. Something happens, and just like the Civil War. Oh, that's what I wanted to say in the first clip. He talked about, we fought a civil war, you know, to end slavery. When the reality is there was so much situations going on in America at that time to where the last choice they had was where Lincoln said, hey, if I could preserve the Union and keep the Union together without freeing these niggas, I would do it. But this is the only choice we got. There's going to be an incident that happens in the very near future where something happens and they're going to come to us. Hey, can you save us again? Please, can you save us? Can you save the country? Can you save the world? And that's what's going to happen.
If anybody want to piggyback, I'm gonna answer. I want to know everybody's thoughts on this one. And let me just say this before y'all say it. I'm not saying that it won't happen. I'm just saying, you know, like we all say the same. You know, you got to have a plan B or whatever the case may be. Damn, look, I've been rhyming all night. I got to make another song, goddamn it. But like real talk, so I don't want to make it seem like that it's not going to happen. It is going to happen. However, just that plan B. But I'm sorry if anybody want to expound on that.
Yeah, I'll touch on that. And I'm gonna start by saying that part of the plan would never be discussed online anyway.
I like that. You actually, I'm special. You just got to put me on the front lines. Just do it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, but what I will say is online is
yes.
Yes, this is a game. You know, I used to tell this to my homegirls about dating, but it's true in this as well, right? You know, the game is like Mario Brothers, right?
I can hear you.
Okay, the game is like Mario Brothers, the first one, and not the one, the 3D one where you feel like you in it and it's real. Okay, I'm old school. Okay, the first one, right? So when you pick, if you turn on the game starts whether you ready or not. Now you can either pick up that controller and jump over the Goombas and get you a flower and get you your coins and do what you gotta do,
Mm-hmm.
Or you could leave that controller there and let the Goomba Goombas come and get you.
The Goomba Goombas.
And that's what I'm going to say when it comes to this game. Yeah, we know it's a game.
Yeah.
But we're going to fight it every way we can, and why the thing is, if we don't get it, we ain't got it yet. And we've been doing what we've been, and we still the greatest. How many hundreds of years has it been? We ain't get it. Did it change who we are?
Right.
Did it change how we fight? Did it change our strength? Did it change our swag? Did it change our influence?
Talk about
Did it change our money?
That's what I'm talking about.
Because even with everything they throw, every Goomba they throw at us, look where we at. We still got the most money of all the black people in the world. Everyone still emulates our culture. And this is, let me say this. Do you understand that blue jeans, denim, was slave clothes?
Hell yeah. And it was hot. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Nobody wanted to identify or wear denim because it was synonymous. The only people in the world who wore denim were enslaved people in America. Do you understand that? We took something from slavery to Fifth Avenue to Paris to Rome, wherever you want to say, Italy, wherever you want to say fashion is fashion, whatever you want to name, they got slave clothes. We got white folks walking around wearing slave clothes because we made it cool.
That's right.
So it don't matter what they throw at us. We can take slave clothes and make it popping.
Popular.
The most beautifulest thing in this world. Nobody, look, come on, think how popular jeans are. Y'all understand jeans. Take jeans out the world. What you got? Sweats. And that's made out of cotton.
That's right. And who takes it, bitch?
At least they used to be. They made out of all kind of snap.
Nigga, I see.
So I wanted to say that about us. And let me just add one more thing. Because we were talking about this earlier about the African American, and I didn't get a chance to weigh in on that. So I just want to weigh in on this.
Take your time.
So, how come we the only ones that got to be African? Insert country here.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The Jamaicans ain't African Jamaicans. That is not their legal designation. The Trinidadians are not African Trinidadians. That is not their legal designation. And they also come from countries, the Jamaica says, out of one, there are many. So there's not only black people. You know, a lot of American black people think that, but there's not only black people in Jamaica.
That's right.
And they will tell you that. They got white Jamaicans, they got Asian Jamaicans, and look at Sean Paul, they got Hispanic Jamaicans. I just learned that the other day. And you can tell as he getting older, he looking less and less black.
Okay. That
he
white
more like Senor. He looking more and more like Senor as he get older. I saw him anyway. So how come we the only ones that gotta be African insert country here? And because you wouldn't have that as your legal designation because you also feel that you have some native to your insert country here. And we're not doing it. My mother told me she was never with it. She never liked it. She never wanted it. She never asked for it.
Right.
And I'm sure my father felt the same. My father passed away. So I'm sure my father felt the same. Because I know how he is.
Right.
Okay. So this was something that was forced upon us. And now we are just giving a correction. Just a gentle correction to what we are and who we want to be labeled. And if I choose to call myself what I want to call myself, why is it any of your business? Why you with all of this? Everybody got the right to choose their labels. We got 160,000 genders, but you got a problem with me and my designation? Why?
Can I say something real quick? And I'm so sorry. I hate that when they know that we are different people. I'm not black. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm not black. I'm this. How is it that you get to pick and choose when you want to be black? Y'all already came here saying that y'all was not black. No, I'm not black. I'm this. So now when we be like, all right, you're right, homie. You're right. Because we was all like this. Cousin Pete, everybody family. And we all got slapped in the face. Now when we, I'm saying, okay, cool. I ain't mad at you. All right. Ziploc this eye shit. Oh, how you dancing? Oh, that's how shit. Oh, that hip hop shit. The hippity hop hip hop, you don't stop. Give that shit back, bitch. Oh shit, them jeans you got on. Give me that shit back too. Oh, them sneakers, nigga. Give it back. You know what I mean? I just hate that. They just jealous, man. And I don't really want to go on a tangent, but y'all know damn well that y'all have those conversations in your rooms when the doors close and you're around your little immigrant friends or your family. Y'all know how y'all feel about us. So all of this is just a play. And this is why I ask people, especially ones from New York or that have different friends from different ethnic backgrounds, ask them certain questions about how do they feel about FBAs. Ask them certain questions, and then you will really see if they really your friend. Because everybody attached to us because we cool. Everybody want to be cool. Everybody want to sit at the table with the cool folks. We are only used as fucking stepping stools and to be cool so you can say nigga and you could dress and you could do the hip hop shit. Everything. So just leave me the fuck alone. Fuck y'all niggas. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Y'all can keep going. God damn it. Because I'm special.
Well, that was it for me. There you go. That's a perfect ending. Go ahead. We can go on to the next person.
Yeah, go right ahead. Whoever, goddamn. Shit, I'm tired of them. I'm really tired.
I'm gonna let my sister Keisha close the show, so let me go so she could drop the bombs. I know she's waiting on. She's sitting on them right now. Feel it.
Yeah, you've been chilling. Like, go right ahead.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this, and I mean I'm glad she said it. She took the words right out of my mouth. But I do gotta add something. Because it's just only right. She said it, and I didn't get a chance to come right behind her when she said it. But she said the most beautifulest thing in the world. You gotta say it's just like that. You gotta say it's just like that at the end of that. So I gotta put that on there. But what she also said that was so powerful is that those are not online conversations. And that, to me, that's exactly what I was going to say. So I'm glad she said it. But I will say this, is that they say politics is warfare without bloodshed.
For sure.
And warfare is politics with bloodshed. Either way, you are always playing politics. And what I will say is this: right now, we playing politics, which is warfare without the bloodshed. And I heard a good doctor say one time that riots are the voice of the unheard.
That's right.
So I will, if I can, give them any advice, whoever them or they might be. I would love to give them a warning, a cautionary tale that hopefully they heed. Make sure that you hear our voice while we're talking. Because once my voice goes unheard,
love it.
I'm going to speak a new language.
Talk, nigga, boom.
That's a language that you know very well. Because we are fluent in it. And have been speaking it since and before emancipation. So I just want to make sure I say it in that way. And there has never been a time.
That's right.
Where our people have only been speaking words. It's because we were heard while we were speaking and while we weren't speaking that we've made it as far as we have. And if you don't know that, I need you to really look into our history to see that alongside our talkers or speakers, I'll say that because talkers is kind of like if you're not doing nothing, but for our speakers that will let you know our message verbally, there were those that were disseminating our message non-verbally throughout time. Even those that said they believed in non-violence, they had those that believed in the other side to that at the same time. So I'll leave it there.
That's right. Man, that was beautifully said. And I need to say that. I'm going to steal that line because, that was beautifully said. Queen, if you could close right on out.
You know, a wise attorney who I had the privilege to learn directly at his feet here in New York, who was at the center of most of the racial cases that took place in the 1980s and the early 90s. And he said, Black people need help. Help in an acronym, meaning they have to understand history, ethics, logic, and philosophy. The FBA Renaissance embodies all of that. And we are unstoppable. You have people from across the globe, no matter what spaces we're on in social media platforms, they find their way to where we are. You have never seen that before in social media history. And so now when people say, you know, you need to push the algorithm, we are the algorithm.
That's a fact.
We continue to be a force to be reckoned with. You can either get on board with us or you're going to be run over. Period. The Democratic Party knows that. The Republican Party knows that. And that's why you have pushback. That's why you had an influx of illegal criminals, because they may call them migrants. They are criminals. They are criminals, and you have to identify them as they are. That's why you had an influx, because they saw the rumblings early on. I want us to understand that, you know, as we continue to push forward with reparations fight, not just here in New York, but around the country, while you recognize the political shenanigans that are going on, I would ask each and every one of you, if you are registered to a particular party, get out of that party and re-register as an independent, non-party affiliate, because eventually we're going to have to take a lot of these government seats, and we want to dwindle the numbers of both parties, because you understand that numbers is what gives them matching dollars. We will take it from them legally. Socially, We have already taken it from them. That's what happened to Kamala Harris. She doesn't understand that we were a force to be reckoned with. Trump somewhat understands. I say that to say because that's why you have a federal organization as ICE that are pushing them out of the way. It was Donald Trump who actually had conversations and gave press conference in the middle of press conferences, I should say, saying that we built this nation, saying that the 14th, 15th, and 16th Amendment are specifically for us. Now, you may not like him as a president. Some people may say he is a white supremacist. You have a right to your feelings. Mm-hmm. However, even in white supremacy, we can gain tangibles. And I would implore you to understand that what President Devine has spoken of earlier, what my sister Breuck has spoken of earlier, in conjunction with this FBA Renaissance, is up for everybody. Everybody. For white folks, for Asian folks, for Africans, for Caribbeans, for Latinos, for politicians, for the poor, for the wealthy, for the hungry, and the dirty. It is up for everybody. And I'll land on that.
I just found the sounds, man. Yeah, man, I slow ass. I should have been.
That's dirty.
I done fucked up. But I put everybody's everybody that's in the chat. I put everybody's Twitter accounts, pages, their websites, everything. Y'all click on it. Make sure y'all follow Breuck, Keisha, Miss Keisha, the brother Devine, and my brother Mike from Melrose Radio. Everything is in the chat. Please make sure y'all follow. Click on that shit. Now, I'm gonna start with Mike. Give all plug in your social media, and we're gonna go down the line.
Yo, once again, bro, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, honor to be amongst y'all, be amongst your audience. Melrose Mike, Melrose Radio. You can check me out up on the gram at Melrose Radio USA, Twitter, Melrose Radio USA. If you need party or event planning services or DJ services, you can check me out at melroseradio.com. Also, we have the Black Business Directory up there and also the Black Media Guide. So, yeah, check that all out at melroseradio.com.
Hey, man, yo, Mike, man, it's always been a pleasure, man. I've been knowing you for some years now, and I finally seen who you were when you did the video and all that. When you was at the Reparations thing, man. We've been cool for quite some time, man, and it's a pleasure, man, and I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
No doubt, man. Peace.
Peace. All right, we're gonna go with we're gonna go to Breuck. Please plug in your everything.
I had to pull everything up because I don't remember a lot of this stuff. Okay, so it's on Twitter, it's Breuck at Even Melanin, spelled EV. Oh boy.
I put the link in there too, so I put y'all in there. So click everybody's Twitter is in the chat. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Breuck at Even Melanin. On Instagram, I'm Breuck.evenmelanin. On TikTok, I'm Breuck Even Melanin, no space. Right. So yes, please go to our call to actions, which is man, I was doing all that and then I forgot to bring this up. Bit.ly, you're gonna put the short, I put that in the chat, the shortened link. That's a little bit easy for people to remember. It's bit.ly/Breuck call to action, no S.
All right, I'm gonna put in there right now.
And that is how you get to our call to actions, which is the most important thing we are asking from the family right now, right? So I also so the call to actions again are for one, the bill that they have, which the commission is founded on, is unconstitutional, as we have been ringing this bell for some time now. And so we want them to support the constitutionally sound bill that we have. And then, so we want you to send an email to all our legislators to get them on board with the constitutionally sound bill. We need co-sponsors and we need sponsors, okay? That is how things work. That is how it gets moved along. That is how it becomes a law, right? And so what we're asking you essentially to do is to write your senator, which one was it? Senator, write your assembly person. That's what you are doing when you send this letter. It takes less than 30 seconds to send it to all of them at one time. Okay. So that we're asking you to do that for the first one. My second call to action is we are asking to delineate and disaggregate our numbers. That is for foundational Black American / Freedmen to be identified. And so we know where we are and what we need. Right? So that is 3 letters. You're going to be sending a letter to the Black Task Force. Okay. So that's 30 seconds for that. Okay. And then we're asking you to send a letter to the governor. Okay. 30 seconds for that. Like you see, this is not taking a lot of time here. Right. So then the last one is you are going to send a letter to all the legislators. Okay. Telling them to get on board and to be a co-sponsor for this bill. Okay. All right. And then the next thing is my own personal request. I would like them to bring in, they have these little presentations that they do where they talk about, some form of our history at the beginning of these reparation hearings, right? I would like them to bring our expert in on how immigration hurt foundational Black Americans from the beginning. And this isn't just Caribbean or whatever. We want to talk about all immigration as a whole. We talking about Italians, Irish, Greek, German, everybody. Okay. We want them to do a numbers. Andrew Barnes from Numbers USA to do a presentation on that, since we got to sit through all of these till January 2027 because they got a extension on a bill that don't make no daggone sense. Okay. So, and then the last thing I want to also refer to what Sister Keisha was talking about again. I added that to the end while we were sitting here talking, is to remove yourself from the Democratic Party. It's not enough to just not vote, because I know a lot of us are doing that, and I you know what I'm saying, I'm with it. You know what I mean? But you should be voting in the smaller elections. But you need to remove yourself from the Democratic Party, because if they have 0 members, or let's say 5 members, everybody at CNN, if they have 5 members, you know what I mean? That looks a certain way. So don't just not vote. Remove yourself from the Democratic Party and make yourself a non-party independent. It's super easy. I have the link there to go to vote.gov. That also takes 30 seconds. So that is the most important thing, our call to actions, and that is why we are here today, honey. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here to pump my call to action.
No, it's an honor. It's an honor to have y'all here, and that's real shit, and I mean that. We could go to Brother Divine, and we're gonna let the Queen close out.
No doubt, man. Yeah, again, I know you said what you just said, but I want to make sure I extend that thanks and appreciation to you as well. You could have been anywhere in the world tonight and had anybody else that you wanted on if you was going to be here, but you allowed us to come and grace your platform. And so I appreciate that. Sister Brooke said it all as far as our call to action. The only thing I would add that she did not say, so people can understand the gravity of the matter and also the audacity, depending on how this goes, is that when she said one of the call to action sends the email to all the legislators, to give a little bit more context, that last one, right? So we have one that sends to the governor. We have one that sends it to, let me explain them. We have one that sends to the governor because the governor will have to sign it after it passes both the Assembly and the Senate. We have one that goes to the Black Legislative Task Force of New York, because what are you task forcing if you're not championing policy that we as Foundation Black Americans are asking you and demanding you to champion? So we are putting it on their radar so they can't play dumb when this thing comes down to it, and whether, like I said, depending on which way it goes. And the third one sends it to all the New York State legislators that already voted for disaggregation. And that's important, right? Because this is what leverage is. That last group is everybody that agreed to disaggregate the data for the AAPI in 2021, which is the Asian American Pacific Islanders. So they disaggregated their demographic. And then last year in 2024, this same group disaggregated the data for essentially the MENA, not essentially, for the MENA group. So that's the Middle Eastern North Africans. And so because at one point, just for those that don't know, just kind of how this racial construct works, Middle Eastern North Africans were white before 2024. So that's the Middle Easterners, the Egyptians, the Libyans, all those people were white when they got here, regardless of how much melanin they have. So that kind of gives, that's a conversation for another day, but I want to make sure that I said that. But yes, that group already disaggregated the data for other groups. So based on that tidbit, there should be no reason why they push back on us. And that's kind of what we're banking on and why we're asking to hold these politicians accountable, because if you did it for them, you damn sure going to do it for us, because we should have went first.
Yeah.
So you can find me at US Freedman Project. That's on that is on Twitter or X, whatever. That is at US Freedman PRJ. I know they put that in the chat. Also, you know, I got with the times, even though, you know, I'm older right now. I'm getting up there, but I did jump on TikTok. At Black American Proverb. So you can look me up over there as well. Also, if you're looking to join or even kind of join, be added to our mailing list, you can go to usfreemanproject.org, click join, and we will add you to the list and get you any information that we have coming out of there. And also, there's an email that you can hit us up on just in case you wanted some more information, had any information that you wanted to pass along to us, because, you know, we work in this thing as a family. There's going to be things that you see in here. We can't see it all, but everything we do see, we can address. So that will be at admin@usfreemanproject.org. So that's ADMIN at usfreemanproject.org. And that's all I got, family. Let's tap in again, because when we tap in, we win.
Everybody send me everything too. I got most of y'all stuff, and you can send me everything else, and I put it in the description box under the video. Go ahead, Queen.
Thank you, Mike, for having us. We appreciate you. Nothing like FBA Media. For those who don't know, you can go to the New York Reparations Commission online, and you can advocate for independent Black media. And I advocated for our brother Mike Larry and Dougie Diamonds TV, because I think they are crucial in our fight in today's times. So you can do that and help us with that. Again, our sister and brother call to action. We desperately need you to send those emails out. Let's do this for real. Let's disaggregate for real. Let's make our lineage who we are legally. We can do that. You can find me, Keisha Fighter, on X, on TikTok, on Instagram and YouTube, Thorough Black Talk Worldview. I do museum tours, not just in New York, but around the country. So if you have a group or an organization and you would like to do a museum tour with me, you can reach me through those mediums, and I will get back to you, because a museum tour with me is like none other. So I'm just telling you.
I know it is. You do the one at the Brooklyn Museum?
Whatever museum you choose.
I used to be my family, my cousin Troy and my Aunt Marie used to literally live directly across the street from the Brooklyn Museum, and I never been there. And I'm talking about the early 90s. Wow, and I never been in the Brooklyn Museum. Always been by it. That's crazy.
Blow your mind, because you have their written story, and then there's the truth. I give you the truth when you roll with me. So again, if you're interested in that, you can reach me through those mediums. Again, thank you, brother, for inviting us on your platform. We truly appreciate you and your followers. Let it be known that those of you in the chat, you know, we definitely appreciate you. You are key components in keeping this independent Black media outlet going. And so you play a crucial role as well. Keep following our brother. Keep supporting our brother, because I'm telling you, we unstoppable. It's up for everybody. In fact, a vice president from CNN marketing was caught on a hot mic, and he said that CNN follows what Black media is doing. Before they even think about writing a story, they are researching and discussing what we are talking about. Like I said, people say you got to push the algorithm. We are the algorithm, and I'll land there.
Sister Keisha, please make sure you send me everything as well so I can put it under the description box, man. I just want to say, man, it's up, man. And I love my Black people. I love my people. And I've always been like that. For those who know me for years, I'm always be there for my people regardless. So with that being said, thank you everybody for tuning in. Please make sure y'all follow our brothers and sisters that was here. And this is serious, man. And we on code. This paradigm shift is here and it's going nowhere. So, and we have to keep pushing this for our great grandkids. So it's not just about us, it's about the future. So with that being said, man, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I'm gonna eat, goddammit. I'm hungry. I'm out of here. Bye. I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, y'all.